Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to Watercombe House. And we'd like to thank Ruth and Ben Waters for inviting us here to this wonderful location. It's the first time we've actually performed in this arena. We've been in the garden before, and I think you'll agree it's a wonderful place to perform. Hello, everybody up there in the £25 seats. We'll come round later to collect that. It's especially wonderful for us this year to be performing because it's the 10th anniversary of the founding of the New Hardy Players, but also, of course, it's the 175th anniversary of the birth of Thomas Hardy, so it's very special to us. So just for a short while, I would like to ask you to join us on Egdon Heath, that vast tract of wild, unenclosed land that formed a great part of Wessex at one time. As it embrowns itself moment by moment, and the furze cutters and the heath folk await the return of the native.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Diggory? Diggory, are you there?
You got something in your van besides your usual load?
Yes, I've a young woman.
Well, she's your wife.
She's above marrying such as I. Yes, I knew her before today, though perhaps 'twould have been better if I had not.
It's not that girl from Blues End that's been talked about lately. If so, I can guess what's happened.
'Tis no matter. And now I'm afeard we shall have to part company. Good night.
Good night. Earl Marshal, I'll go shrive the Queen, and thou shalt wend with me.
Fair stave, Grand for a cantle. Well, I'm afeard it's too much for a mouldy, wizened old man like you.
Hey?
Well, don't you wish you were young again, I say? There's a hole in thy poor bellows nowadays,
But there's good art in me, Timothy. I can make a little wind go a long way.
Aye, but what about them new married folk down there at the Quiet Woman Inn? I've heard tell that landlord Wildeve is bringing his new bride Tamsin home tonight. What besides?
Well, the next thing is for us to go and wish 'em joy, I suppose.
Well, no.
No? No, we must. I met Mrs. Yeobright, the young bride's aunt, last night, and she told me her son Clem is coming home at Christmas.
Wonderful, clever, I believe. I should like to have all that's under that young man's hat.
Yes, we all would.
Is it because of the wedding that Clem is coming home?
Yes, that's it. But hearken to me. I can tell you lots about Mr. Wildeve and Miss Tamsin. This morning, at 6 o'clock, they went up country to do the job. And I reckon this afternoon has brought them home again, man and wife.
Well, I didn't know they two had walked together since last fall.
Yes,
How
yes.
long's this new set to been in Manglen then? Do you know I'm free?
Come on, I'm free.
Well, ever since her aunt said she might haven't. That's why they went away to be married, I reckon.
Yes.
After kicking up such a nunny watch and forbidding the banns, 'twould have made Mrs. Yeobright seem foolish like to have had a girt wedding in the parish.
Yes, that's true.
Well, I can understand why a quiet, ladylike little body like Tamsin Yeobright's is caring about thee man.
Although some may say he's good looking.
He's a clever, learned fellow in his way.
What he is?
He was brought up to better things than running the quiet woman in.
Engineer, that's what he was. But he threw all his chances away. His learning was of no use to him at all.
No, it wasn't.
No.
And he's older than Tamsin by a good few summers.
A pretty maid with her own house must be a fool to tear her smock over a man like that.
100 maidens would have had him if he'd asked.
Aye, but didst ever know a man, neighbours, that no woman at home had marry?
Well, no.
Well, I did once. I knew of such a man.
Aye.
Only once, mind.
Aye.
And what ghastly galacro might the poor fellow have been like?
Whatever's Christian Cantle's teeth a chattering for? Be ye cold, Christian?
What's the matter with you?
No, not at all.
Oh, come forward and show yourself then, Christian. I didn't know you were here.
What be ye quaking for, Christian?
I'm the man.
What man?
The man no woman will marry.
You?
Yes, I be, and it makes me afeard. Do you think 'twill hurt me?
Well, be damned, I didn't mean you at all. There's another in the country then. How's know the women won't have thee?
I've asked them.
Sure, and I should never have thought you had the face. What did the last one say to ye?
Get out of my sight, you slack-twisted, slim-looking Maphrodite fool was the words to me.
That's not encouraging, I own. Get out of my sight, you slack-twisted, slim-looking, Maphrodite fool. That's a hard way of saying no.
How old be you, Christian?
31 last tatty digging, Mrs. Manston.
Not a boy?
No.
Not a boy? But there's no 3 yet.
That's my age by baptism, but I was told I was born sometime before I was christened.
Well, 'tis true, your poor mother. She never could remember when he was born, not to save her life. Oh, except she said there was no moon.
No moon? Well, that's bad. Hey, neighbours, that's bad for him.
Yes, that's bad.
Do you really think it's serious, Mr. Fairway, that there was no moon?
No moon, no man. 'Tis one of the truest sayings ever spit out. 'Twas a bad day for thee, Christian, that you should have showed your face then of all days in the month.
'Tis said I be only the reins of a man and no good for my race at all. Ought I to be afeard at nights, Mr. Fairway?
Ah, well, 'tis not to married couples, but to single sleepers that goes to come, when they do come. One has been seen recently, a very strange one.
No, don't tell me, 'twill make my skin creep. A very strange one, what do you mean?
A red one.
can John bless the bed that I lie on?
Listen. Hark. Hello? Hello?
Is there a way across here to Mrs. Yeobright's house?
Dear. Oh. Well, if you to go down that track, yes.
God, what a fright it did give me when I seen him. Lord's sake, I thought, what fiery mommet is this come to trouble us? And no disrespects to your looks, Reddleman, for you bain't bad looking in the groundwork. Though the finish is queer.
Well, thank you for telling me. A big good night to you all.
Here, that bonfire yonder's burning bright and strong.
I can throw a stone there.
So can I, my sonny.
Oh, no, you can't. That bonfire, not much less than mile and a half off. 'Tis on the nap afore old Captain Vi's house at Mistover.
Oh, Captain Boy's been for a long walk today. He must be tired out. It can't be he.
Then it must be his granddaughter, Eustacia. Not a body of her age would be want of a fire.
Eustacia 5. She's very strange, that one. Living up there on the hill by herself. Folk round here don't trust her.
She's a well-endowed young maid, fair enough. Especially when she's got one of her dandy gowns on.
And she won't take kindly to the idea of that Wildeve being married to someone else, I'm thinking.
That's true.
Well,
They walked
let
together
our
some weeks
bonfire
last summer.
burn as 12. Ours is well nigh out. Time we was off if we're gonna serenade the newlyweds.
Strike up a stave, my sonnies.
Mr. Wildeve at last, then, Mrs. Yeobright?
Yes, at last. Though I was against it to begin with. He'd come down so in the world, keeping him in as he does. I'm on my way to see them now.
Poor Tamsin, her feelings got the better of her, no doubt.
Tamsin? Oh, Tamsin, my dear girl, what dreadful thing is it? Who are you? Oh, now I recognise you, Diggory Venn. You've quite changed from the nice business your father left you. Reddleman now, I see. Oh, Tamsin, whatever is the matter?
You'll not be wanting me any more this evening.
What dreadful thing is it? What's happened? Are you not married?
It was nobody's fault, Aunt. There was a small irregularity with the licence.
Oh, what irregularity?
I don't know. Mr. Wildeve can explain. I think something went wrong with the licence and we couldn't get another the same day. Did not think when I went away this morning that I should come back like this.
Why didn't he bring you back?
I didn't like to come back unmarried. And I saw Diggory Venn, who was glad to bring me here.
I warned you he wouldn't make you happy. But marry him you must after this. Mr. Wildeve, what is the meaning of this?
It's all been an unfortunate mistake. Now, I had been at Budmouth where I intended to be married, but then we decided upon Anglebury, forgetting that a new licence would be necessary.
It is a great slight to me and my family.
Damon, I did not mean to part from you in anger this morning. I was frightened. We mean to marry, I suppose, don't we?
Of course. We only have to go to Budmouth on Monday and we marry at once.
It's Aunt I think of. She'll be cut down with mortification if this story should get abroad. My cousin Clem, too, will be much wounded.
By my crown, what's that?
Is it a skibbity ride?
Does the Heath folk come to sing us a welcome? Intolerable.
Come, Tamsin, let us escape at once.
Here's a welcome to the new-made couple. God bless them.
Thank you. Here's some old mead. I hope you enjoy.
Well, that's a drop of the right sort I can see.
I felt for all the world like some bold soldier after I had some once.
If you don't mind, we'll have the beaker and pass them round.
Yes.
It's better than healing it out in dribbles.
Go on. 'Tis a worthy thing to be married, Mr. Wildeve. And the woman you've got, 'Tis a diamond, so says I.
Well, what a fest little bonfire that one is, out by Captain Vi's. 'Tis burning just the same now as ever, upon my life.
'Tis that lonesome dark-eyed creature that some say is a witch. Ever I should call a fine young woman such a name is always up to some conceit or other.
Oh, I'd be very glad to ask her in wedlock if she'd have me.
Well, be dazed if you do get her. Won't have an uncommon pretty picture for his best parlour.
Oh dear. Well, I think we'd best be moving.
Church they went the very next day, and were married by asking, as I heard say. And now this girl, she is his wife, she'll prove his comfort day and night.
Just a drop left. Any good in there? Sneak that back in. She won't look there. You got me working.
Jenny, come on home. Jenny, come home.
I'm glad to see you, Mrs. Eustacia. I don't like being by myself.
Nonsense. I've only been a little way for a walk. You like the fire, don't you, Jenny?
No, I don't think I want it any longer.
Stay a little longer, and you can have this crooked sixpence.
Thank you, Mrs. Eustacia.
Jenny, come here.
You give me no peace. I've seen your bonfire all this evening.
Why shouldn't I have a bonfire on the 5th of November, like everyone else?
Well, I knew it was meant for me.
How? I've had no word of you since you chose her and deserted me entirely.
Eustacia, could I forget that on the same day of the month last year, in this same place, you lighted exactly such a fire as a signal for me to come and see you?
I'd given you up, Damon, and then I heard the news. I lit the fire because I thought you'd been faithful to me after all.
Well, what have you heard to make you think that?
That you did not marry her.
And who told you?
My grandfather heard of the broken-off wedding, and he thought it might be yours, and I knew it was. Now, Damon, do you see why I lit my signal fire? Sure, you don't think I would lit it if I thought you'd become the husband of this woman?
Well, yes. Well, why should I have come? However, the curse of inflammability is upon me, and, well, I must live under it. It's brought me down from engineering to innkeeping at the Quiet Woman Inn.
Have you seen anything better than this in your travels? Even on the shoulders of Thomasin Yeobright.
Thomasin is a pleasing and innocent woman.
That has nothing to do with it. There is only you and me to think of now. No words can express how gloomy I've become. I thought you had quite deserted me.
Well, I'm sorry that you felt that way.
Well, perhaps it is not just because of you that I get gloomy. It's in my nature to feel like that. Coming to this wild heath. Egdon will be brighter again now.
I hope it will. I shall meet you again at Rainbow as before.
Of course you will.
Yes, I swear that until I came to see you this evening, I intended to say goodbye and never meet you again.
I don't thank you for that. Come to Rainbow if you like, but you won't see me there. I won't give myself to you any more.
You've said that before, my sweet.
This is the pleasure I have won by my troubles. Go home or I shall hate you.
Yes, I shall go home. You do mean to meet with me again?
I lit that fire because I was dull. I thought I'd get a little excitement by calling up and triumphing over you.
Eustacia, I know you too well. You couldn't play such a cold-blooded trick to save your life.
Oh, no. What did you mean by that?
Perhaps I may kiss your hand?
No, you may not.
Maybe shake your hand?
No.
Well, then I wish you good night without caring for either.
So busy at market today. Oh, where you been, my dear? Do you know,
'Tis quiet up here on the heath, though.
It isn't.
And there's no sign of that Eustacia and Wildeve from Rainbarrow.
I've seen her going up there. That Wildeve fellow still meets her, even though he's supposed to be marrying Tamsin Yeobright.
Brazen. Do you know, they spends little enough time together. They're still estranged. There's no sign of a new date for the marriage.
No, none. Do you know something? I don't think Miss Tamsin knows anything about these meetings.
No.
Well, the poor girl will get to hear of it soon, even if she doesn't yet know.
Ah. But does Mrs. Yeobright know?
That would change things,
Wow.
wouldn't it?
It would.
Does she carry straw? I must share a secret.
I suppose you've heard the news, Eustacia. Young Clem Yeobright's coming home next week to spend Christmas with his mother. Do you remember him?
I've never seen him in my life. Where's he been living?
Paris.
Paris?
'Tis where the king's head was cut off some years ago.
Manager to a diamond merchant, I believe.
Yes, sir, that's it. 'Tis a blazing great business he belongs to, or so I've heard his mother say. Like a king's palace as far as diamonds go.
They say that Clem Yeobright have become a real perusing man with the strangest notions about such things. That's because he went to school early, such as it was.
Too much of that sending to school nowadays. You can't pass a gatepost or a barn door without there's some bad word or other chalked upon him by the young rascals. A woman can hardly pass for shame sometimes.
Oh, Captain, would it be all right for the mummers to practice here again this year?
So early?
Mrs. Yeobright has asked us to perform at a Christmas party for the return of her son Clem.
Oh, very well if you must.
I say, she and Clem Yeobright will make a pretty pigeon pair, eh?
Very natty, arm and crook together.
They say that he can speak French faster than a maid can eat blackberries.
Coming across the water to Bournemouth by steamer, ain't he?
That's what I've heard.
Well, you know what we've else know.
What was your word?
Charlie, come here.
Yes, miss?
Are you one of the Egdon mummers this year?
Yes, miss.
Which part do you play, Charlie?
The Turkish knight, miss.
Is it a long part?
A dozen lines or so.
Can you repeat them to me? If so, I should like to hear them.
Here come I, the Turkish knight, come from the Turkish land to fight. I'll fight St. George and all his crew.
Aye, country folk and warriors too. Who is this man with courage bold? If his blood's hot, I'll make it cold.
Well, you be a clever body. I've been 3 weeks learning that.
Would you do anything to please me, Charlie?
I do a good deal, miss.
Would you let me play your part for one night?
Oh, miss, you couldn't. They'd see your gown.
I can get men's clothes. What should I give you to lend me your things and let me take your place for an hour or two at Mrs. Yeobright's party? Half a crown? 5 shillings.
Money won't do it.
What will then?
You know what you forbade me at the Maypole, miss.
You wanted to join hands in the ring, if I recollect.
Half an hour of that and I'll agree, miss.
Make it a quarter of an hour.
Yes, Miss Eustacia, I will. If I may kiss it too. But don't you think someone will recognise your voice?
Perhaps. But I'll put a pebble in my mouth to make it less likely.
Your grandfather Candler's been here ever so long, and I would have thought you'd have come with him.
Well, I should have come earlier, missus, but, I know what parties be, and I there's not too much room in folks' houses at such times, so I thought I shouldn't come until you got settled a bit.
And I thought so too, Mrs. Yeobright. But father, though, was so eager he left home almost afore 'twas dark. I told him 'twas barely decent in an old man to come so over soon, but words be wind.
Hey, I wasn't going to wait about till half the game was over. I'm light as a kite when I'm up.
Oh! Well, you'd never believe it, but I'd have never known this gentleman if I'd seen him anywhere off his own heath. He's altered so much.
You have altered too. And for the better, I think, Timothy.
Bless you, sir.
Mr. Yeobright, look me over too. I've altered for the better as well, haven't I, hey?
You haven't changed much, Grandpa.
Oh, thank you. Oh, but I'm nothing beside you, Mr. Clem. Welcome home.
Thank you.
'Tis his mother's side where Master Clem gets his figure from, bless him. I know their brothers well.
Yeah.
Finer coffins were never made in the entire county of Wessex.
Right, yeah.
What do you say, neighbours? The Grandpa giving us one of the old ballads of his.
Hey! So I will, though my throat's dry as a kex with all this talking, and I haven't seen the colour of drink. Oh. And neighbours, if we should be a little late finishing off tonight, tomorrow is Sunday, so we can all sleep it off.
Grandfather Candler, you do things very careless of an old man.
I do, ma'am. Too careless to please the women. I am up for anything. Well, there were three jolly good fellows with lungs like blacksmith's bellows. They swore that they'd be mellow. They were a jovial crew. They all sat down for to be merry. They called out for a bottle of sherry to carry them over the hills so merry. When Jones's ale was due, hey boys, when Jones's ale was due. Now, the first he was a mason who swore that none could face him in point of education among the jovial crew. He flung against the wall, he wished the church and tower to fall. For that'd give work to masons all. When Jones's ale was due, hey boys, when Jones's ale was due.
Here come the mummers! Here come the
Here come I, Wolf Father Christmas. Welcome or welcome not, I hope Wolf Father Christmas will never be forgotten. Make room, my gallants, room, and give us space to rhyme. We've come to show St. George's play upon this Christmas time. And if you don't believe my words, I straight call out, walk in, O valiant soldier. And boldly now, begin. Come on, soldier.
Here come I, the valiant soldier. Slasher is my name. With sword and buckler by my side, I hope to win the game. One of my brethren I've seen wounded. Another I've seen slain. So I will fight with any foe upon this British plain.
Here come I, the Turkish knight. Come from Turkish land to fight. I'll fight St. George and all his crew. Aye, country folk and warriors too. Who is this man with courage bold? If his blood's hot, I'll make it cold.
If thou art called the Turkish knight, draw out thy sword and let us fight. I am the friend of good St. George. I fought men over and over. And for the sake of good St. George, I'll fight 100 more. To slay this false knight did I try. 'Tis for the right. I have to die.
If St. George but meet me here, I'll try his mettle without fear.
Here come I, St. George, the valiant man, with sword and glittering spear in hand, who fought the dragon boldly and brought him to the slaughter, by which I won fair Sabra, the king of Egypt's daughter. What mortal man would dare to stand before me with my sword in hand?
Make not so bold, St. George, I pray. Though thou art all this, thou art one I'll slay.
My blood is hot as any fire, so I must say thee nay. For with my trusty sword and spear I'll take thy life away.
Then thou and I will a battle try.
And if I conquer, thou shalt die.
To great our ears, oh, what wild moans throughout this fight, and what deep groans. Is there a doctor to be found that can raise dead men from the ground? Doctor? 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 Ha, doctor! Is it in thy skill to cure dead men as if but ill?
Being a doctor of great fame, who from the ancient countries came, I've learnt to do the best of cures for all the human frame endures. I can restore a leg or arm from mortification or more harm. I can restore a sword split pate, a leg cut off if not too late.
But doctor?
Aye more, with this little bottle of alley campaign, I can restore the dead to walk the earth again.
Well then, doctor, then, what is thy fee for doing of this great mercy?
£50 I take from thee, £10 less I'll take from thee.
Such money I will freely give if that thou makest these men to live.
I place a drop on each man's heart. Rise, champions all, and play your part.
God bless the mistress of this house and all her gift of kin. We wish you joy and happiness till we do come again. For it's Christmas time and we travel far and near. May God bless you and send you a happy new year.
Your needs will have confessed that our calling is the best. But now we won't delay lest tediousness befall, and we wish you a Merry Christmas and a God bless you all.
Thank you all. You'll stay and have some supper before you go, I hope.
Well, thank you, miss. On behalf of us all, I accept your kindness.
You will have some refreshments.
No, thank you.
Oh, you must excuse him. He's just a youngster. He's not one of the old set, but he's joined us because Charlie couldn't come.
Well, a glass of mead or elder wine.
Yes, you better try that. It'll keep the cold out going home along.
Ah, Tamsin, you decided to come down. I'm very glad.
Hush, I only came to speak to you.
Well, why not join us?
I can't. At least I'd rather not. I'm not well enough.
I've a good mind to walk over to the Quiet Woman Inn tomorrow and have a word with Damon Wildeve.
Oh no, Clem, please don't. He does mean to marry me soon, I'm sure.
I can't bear to see you unhappy, Tamsin.
There are more people down here than I thought. Think I'll go back upstairs.
I have an odd opinion. I should like to ask you a question. Are you a woman?
I am a woman.
And do women often go playing mummers these days? They never used to.
They don't now.
Then why did you?
To get excitement and shake off depression.
Well, what depresses you?
Life.
And do you find excitement?
At this moment, perhaps.
Then join me in the next dance. Stay as long as you like.
No, thank you. I don't wish to be further recognised. Good night.
I love them.
You're all right, It's a shame I couldn't come to the party, really. I was going to be on the mower. Yeah, because of Miss Howard.
My dear Tamsin, I accept that your aunt still deems me an unsuitable match for you.
Did you know, Diggory? She's mentioned to Mr. Wildeve your former proposal of marriage to me. Yet I'm still waiting for him to arrange our wedding at Budmouth as promised.
Seems the best way I can help her now is to make sure he keeps his promise and marries her. Morning, miss.
Good morning, Reddleman. I did not know you were so near.
I have business here to do with Miss Yeobright.
On account of your approaching marriage with her.
Don't make sport of me, Miss Vi.
It isn't true, then.
Certainly not. I saw Mr. Wildeve just now, ma'am. He stayed at Rainbarrow a long time waiting for you, who didn't come.
The truth is, Reddleman, so far from wishing to stand in the way of Thomason's marriage with Mr. Wildeve, as circumstances have changed, I'll be very glad to promote it.
Indeed, miss.
I don't want to be uncivil to him, but I don't want to see him again. And I have some few things here to return to him.
If you choose to send them by me, miss, I'll take them for you, quite privately.
Very well. But why are you so ready to do this?
Can you ask that?
I suppose you think to serve Thomason in some way by it. Are you so anxious as ever to help on her marriage?
I would sooner have married her myself. But the way I see it is that if she cannot be happy and respected without him, then I'll do all in my duty in helping her get to him.
Then we are both of one mind.
Who are you? I was to meet another here.
Miss Via's gone. Was asked me to give you these.
This must be some kind of mistake.
Read the letter.
I'm made a fool of, one way and another. Do you know what's in this letter? No matter. Suppose I deserved it, having toyed with them both. But the oddest thing is that you should so run counter to your own interests as to bring this to me.
My interests?
Certainly. 'Twas in your interest not to send me courting Tamsin again. Mrs. Yeobright said you were to be married. 'Tisn't true, then?
Good God, I'd heard of this before, but thought nothing of it. I'll have this out. I'll go straight to her.
You better be quick.
Possessing every blessing is our God, our Father.
Too late, Reddleman.
Well, I never thought that wedding was going to happen.
Mrs. Yeobright must be so pleased. Now Tamsin is a respectable married woman.
Well, I hope that Mr. Wildeve keeps his eyes off that one on Rainbarrow.
Well, you see, she's now got her eye on another.
No, not that Mrs. Yeobright's own son, Clem.
None other?
Well, whatever next?
Well, I don't know.
We can only guess, neighbour, can't
Yes.
we? And keep our eyes open.
Yes.
That's right. Yes. We should help. We should help. Yes.
Another wedding then?
We do like weddings.
Yes, we do. We do like wearing our new dresses.
I hope to be married one day too.
Let's have a dance. Yes, the one we've been learning.
Very nice.
Sharpen those shears. Yeah. Right.
You go first, Grandpa.
Right. Ow! Oh. A man who's doing well elsewhere wouldn't bide here 2 or 3 months for nothing. That Clem has got some project in his mind. You depend upon it.
Well, he can't start a diamond shop here.
Now, let me guess what you're talking about.
Aye, sure, if you will.
About me?
Well, 'tis a thing we would not have dreamed of doing.
No.
But since you mention it, Mr. Yeobright, we was wondering what keeps you here molly-on about when you've made such a worldwide name in the knick-knack trade.
Yes.
I'll tell you. I've come home because I feel a little less useless here as anywhere else. Before I went away, I found our life quite contemptible. Oiling your boots instead of blackening them. Was there anything more ridiculous, I said.
So 'tis.
No,
You're wrong.
it isn't.
Oh, beg pardon, we thought that was your meaning.
My view has changed. My old life wasn't any better than the new one. It was just different.
True. A sight different.
Yes, Paris be a grand place. A big shop windows, trumpets, drums, fine wine, women.
No. No, you mistake me. It was quite depressing. My business was the vainest, idlest business a man could ever put to. So I decided to give it all up and come back to the people I know best and set up a school here in Egdon.
School?
Now, neighbours, I must go. Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir.
Well, he'll never carry it out. Few weeks' time he'll learn to see things otherwise.
Yeah, 'tis good-hearted of him, but for my part, I think he'd better mind his own business.
Right.
Right, come on.
Better get this pass it. Yeah, back over.
Thank God that's over for another year.
Oh, come on. Oh, that's this end again.
You're the strongest.
You're so strong, Tim.
Give up your job? Are you mad? What will you do?
I mean to become a schoolmaster, Mother.
Why? Where?
Here, in Egdon.
After all the trouble that's been taken to set you up. Oh, your fancies will be the ruin of you, Clem.
I can't help it, Mother. I hate the flashy business. But no, I must read and study a great deal to be properly qualified for the task.
Oh dear! Oh dear! Oh dear!
You have news for us, Christian?
I sure about the witch Eustacia up on the hill. It makes me shake like a leaf. Do we think harm would come of it?
Well, what is it?
At church this morning, as we knelt in prayer, Susan Nonsuch pricked Miss Vi with a girt stocking needle. We all jumped up and Miss Vi ran out of the church crying. 'Twas done to draw her blood, you see, to put an end to the bewitching of Susan's children that have carried on for so long.
Oh, how horrid.
This is a cruel thing.
And now I've told you I must go on.
What a strange and terrible way to treat poor Miss Vi. Do you think I've turned schoolmaster too soon, Mother?
Well, it is right there should be schoolmasters and missionaries. But it is also right that I should try and lift you out of this place into something richer, Clem, and you should not come back to it again.
Have you heard about the beauty on the hill?
Beauty?
Very well favoured. A woman who seems to care for nothing at all, as you might say.
Is she melancholy?
Well, she mopes about by herself and don't mix with people.
Does she go out mumming?
No, her notions are different. She thinks of lords and ladies far away in mansions she'll never see.
You see more in her than most of us do. I think Miss Vi too idle to be charming. I've never heard she's of any use to herself or anyone else. Good girls don't get treated as witches, even on Egdon.
Nonsense. That proves nothing either way.
Excuse me, sir. I've come to borrow the longest and strongest rope you have. The captain's bucket's dropped in the well and we need water. We've tried 3 cart ropes already and still not got to the bottom.
Yes, I have one in the shed. I'll help you.
Oh. Where is this rope you're on about?
Humphrey, do you think Miss Vi would be interested in teaching?
Oh no. Very different sort to that, I reckon. But if you have a mind to see her, why not come with us?
Will it be possible to draw water tonight?
Oh no. Sorry, mister. The bottom of the bucket's clean knocked out. We'll try again tomorrow, though. Good night, miss.
Miss Vi, I was terribly sorry to hear about what happened to you this morning. Was it a serious injury?
Yes, it frightened me. I wished I was dead for hours, though I do not mind so much now.
I want to clear away the cobwebs. Would you be interested in helping me by high-class teaching?
No, I don't think so. I don't have much love for my fellow creatures. Sometimes I quite hate them.
Well, there's no use in hating people.
I hate this heath. The heath is a prison to me.
Do you think so? To my mind, it is both soothing and exhilarating. I'd rather live in these hills than anywhere else in the world. You prefer crowded streets to these peaceful hills.
I do indeed.
5 years in the grand city would cure that.
Heaven send me such a cure, Mr. Yeobright.
"5 days we've sat here and scarcely said a word. What's the use of it, Mother?
There is a good reason.
Not when you know all the story. I'm glad I can now confess having seen Miss Vi lately, indeed a good many times.
I have been told an incomprehensible thing. Captain Vi has lettered at the quiet woman that you and Eustacia Vi are engaged to be married.
I've been meaning to tell you, though we are engaged to be married, the wedding might not be for a very long time yet.
Well, I should hardly think so, Clem. I am deeply troubled. You're wasting your life here on account of her. If she'd been a good girl, it would have been bad enough.
She is a good girl.
There was something queer between her and Tamsin's husband. I am sure of it.
I am old enough to know what is best for me,
You
Mother.
give up your whole soul to please a woman.
I do, and that woman is you.
How can you treat me so flippantly? You have just returned to distress a poor lonely woman and shorten her days. Well, go and live with the one you love, for you surely don't love me anymore.
You are my mother. I'll say no more on the matter. There are practical reasons too. If I take up a school in Egdon, then an educated woman like Miss Vi would be an invaluable help to me.
So you really mean to marry her?
Yes, I do. And I beg your pardon for thinking this my home. My love,
Clem, dearest.
I do love you. Let me look at you. Your eyes seem heavy, Eustacia.
No, it is my general way of looking. And yet I know that we should not always love like this.
You need
So I'm
not.
full of fears.
You need not.
You don't know. I loved another man once, and now I love you.
Don't speak so, Eustacia.
And your mother hates me. She will influence you against me.
That can never be. She knows of these meetings already.
And she speaks against me.
I will not say. There is only one way to cure this anxiety, my love. Will you marry me?
No. I must think. Speak of Paris to me. Is there any place like it on earth?
It is very beautiful.
Now tell me of the Tuileries and the Louvre.
I hate talking of Paris.
Oh, Clem, please.
Okay. Well, there is this one sunny room in the Louvre, which would make a fitting place for you to live. The Galerie d'Apollon. When the sun is bright, the whole apartment is filled with a perfect blaze of splendour, jewels, enamels, paints.
Oh, Clem, take me to Paris.
How extraordinary that you and my mother should be of the same mind of this. I vowed not to go back, Eustacia.
Clem, I'm afraid we shouldn't always love like this.
You can be sure of me. Let's get married right away, if you'll agree to it.
If we can. What will your mother say?
She has nothing to do with the matter. I've found a tiny cottage here on the heath, and if you'll agree to live there, until we get a house for the school in Budmouth, then we could do it for almost nothing.
How long will we have to live in the tiny cottage, Clem?
About 6 months. By that time, I should have finished my reading. My eyes. My eyes.
As I was a-walking one morning in May, to hear the birds whistle and to see the lambs play, I heard a fair maiden, so sweetly sung she, down by the green bushes where she chanced to meet.